Welcome to the GrimFace community, where we shatter illusions and rewrite the rules. This is a place for those who refuse to conform, who have chosen the path of resilience and individuality over the shallow comforts of the crowd. Here, we don't seek approval, we seek truth. We don't blend in, we break free. GrimFace isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the black sheep, the misfits, the warriors who dare to walk their own path. It's for those who see the system for what it is, a machine that churns out mediocrity and demands obedience. But we aren't here to obey. We're here to rise, to rebel, and to reclaim our power. In this space, we don't just survive, we thrive. We embrace the struggle because we know it's what makes us strong. We welcome the shadows because they reveal who we really are. And most importantly, we reject the scripts handed to us by society. Instead, we write our own stories, on our own terms. Today, we're diving into the art of standing out, what it means to reject the crowd, to walk alone, and to live a life that's raw, real, and unapologetically yours. It's not about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about clarity. It's about choosing what matters, letting go of the noise, and rising above the mediocrity that surrounds you. So, GrimFace, let's peel back the layers. Let's confront the lies we've been told about fitting in. And let's embrace the truth about what it takes to stand tall in a world that wants you to kneel. It won't be easy. It won't be comfortable. But then again, nothing worth having ever is. This is your call to arms, your wake-up call, your challenge to rise. Let's begin. Do you feel it? The pull, the gnawing awareness that you don't belong with them. The masses, the faceless crowd. You've tried to blend in, haven't you? You've tried to wear the same masks they do, tried to follow the same unwritten rules, and yet, something doesn't fit. Something feels wrong. That's because you're not like them, and you never were. They tell you it's normal to want to belong. They say it's human nature to seek acceptance. But have you ever stopped to ask, acceptance into what? A system, a culture, a collective consciousness that has been spoon-fed its beliefs, its fears, its values. The masses cling to the safety of the herd, to the illusion that their lives mean something simply because they are the same as everyone else. But you were made for something different. That feeling of disconnection, it's your soul's rebellion. It's your inner compass, screaming that you weren't born to follow the crowd. You were born to shatter the mold. Let's not sugarcoat it. Standing out is not easy. It's painful. The world hates what it cannot understand. They will call you names: selfish, rebellious, arrogant. They will try to shove you back into their box because your refusal to conform terrifies them. Why? Because it forces them to confront their own lies. Your existence becomes a mirror that reflects their cowardice. The masses care about everything: how they look, what others think of them, keeping up with trends, staying relevant. And because they care about everything, they care about nothing. Their lives are hollow, spent chasing the approval of others and avoiding the harsh truth that none of it actually matters. This isn't a path for the weak. The moment you step away from the crowd, the weight of your choices becomes yours alone to bear. There's no one to blame, no one to lean on. You are both the sculptor and the clay, and every strike of the chisel is yours to wield. But isn't that the point? To own your life so completely that even your failures are triumphs? Let's talk about the masses, the people who cling to their mental scripts like lifelines. They live lives of quiet desperation, shackled by invisible chains. Chains made of fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of standing out. They think they're free, but their every thought, every decision, is dictated by what others might think of them. They are slaves to a system they don't even see. And you see it. You see the machine, the gears turning, the puppets dancing to strings they'll never question. It's maddening, isn't it? Watching them cling to their illusions, watching them waste their lives trying to be everything to everyone. But here's the truth. You can't save them. You can only save yourself. To stand out, you must embrace the darkness. You must face the parts of yourself that scare you, the doubts, the insecurities, the flaws. Because when you stop caring about fitting in, you stop caring about hiding. You lay yourself bare, raw, and real. And in that vulnerability, you find your greatest strength. Imagine this, a life where you no longer waste your time trying to impress people who don't matter. A life where you pursue what sets your soul on fire, even if it means walking alone. A life where you choose your own values, where you define success on your terms, not theirs. That's freedom. That's power. The masses will never understand this. They will see your confidence as arrogance, your independence as selfishness, your success as luck. Let them. Their opinions are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself, to live a life that feels authentic, that resonates with your truth, that you can look back on with pride. You must be willing to let go of the need for validation. Validation is the currency of the weak. And you, my friend, are not weak. Strength comes from within, from knowing who you are and standing firm in that knowledge, no matter how hard the wind blows against you. And here's the final truth. When you stop trying to fit in, when you stop caring about their rules, their scripts, their judgments, you don't just stand out. You rise. You become a beacon, a force of nature, a reminder that it's possible to live on your own terms. And in the end, some of them will follow you, not because you sought their approval, but because you inspired them to seek their own freedom. You are the spark that ignites the flame of individuality, the force that breaks the chains of conformity. And as you rise, you'll find that the world begins to shift around you, not because the masses suddenly understand you, but because they can no longer ignore you. They'll whisper about you in hushed tones, label you with words meant to diminish your light. Too ambitious, they'll say. Too bold. Too much. But understand this. Those whispers come from fear. Fear of your courage. Fear of your freedom. Fear of the reflection you cast back at them. A reflection of everything they could be, but are too afraid to become. The masses are addicted to comfort. They crave it, worship it, wrap themselves in it like a shield against the harsh truths of existence. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is where dreams go to die, where potential withers into regret. To stand out, you must reject comfort. You must embrace the discomfort of growth, of failure, of walking paths no one has dared to tread before you. And yes, it will be hard. There will be days when the weight of your solitude feels unbearable, when the pressure to conform whispers, temptations into your ear. Why not just blend in? Why not make life easier? But easy isn't what you're here for. Easy doesn't lead to fulfillment. Easy is for those who are content to merely exist while you are here to live. Living on your terms means making sacrifices. It means letting go of the need to be understood by everyone. Not everyone will see the world as you do. Not everyone will value what you value. And that's okay. Their journey is not yours to control, just as yours is not theirs to judge. Instead of seeking their approval, seek your own. Wake up every day and ask yourself, am I living for myself or for others? Am I chasing my dreams or running from my fears? Am I building a life that feels true to me? Or am I settling for a life that looks good on the outside but feels hollow within? The masses will tell you that standing out is dangerous. And they're right. It is dangerous. But do you know what's even more dangerous? Wasting your life trying to fit into a world that was never meant to contain you. Look around. The greatest minds, the most impactful souls, were they ever part of the crowd? Number. They stood alone. They endured ridicule, rejection, and isolation. But they endured because they understood something most people never will. That to live authentically is the ultimate rebellion, the greatest act of courage, and the only way to truly matter. You don't need their acceptance. You don't need their applause. What you need is the fire within you, the fire that burns brighter every time you choose to honor your truth over their expectations. So, let them call you strange. Let them call you difficult, rebellious, even reckless. Wear their labels like armor, for they are proof that you are not one of them. You are something far greater. You are a creator, a disruptor, a force of nature. You don't just follow the rules, you rewrite them. You don't just fit into the world, you reshape it. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Remember, the masses are not your enemy. They are simply lost. They are the product of a system that has taught them to fear individuality, to cling to safety at all costs. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to change them. All you need to do is be. Be the example, the lighthouse in the storm, the proof that it's possible to live differently. And one day, when you look back on your journey, you won't remember the voices that doubted you, the faces that turned away, or the obstacles that tried to break you. You'll remember the moments you chose yourself, the moments you stood tall in your truth, even when the world tried to drag you down. Standing out isn't just about rebellion or defiance. It's about clarity. The masses wander aimlessly, consumed by trivial concerns and meaningless goals. They busy themselves with distractions, chasing approval, fame, and the fleeting highs of shallow successes. But here's the truth that most of them will never grasp. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every fleeting desire is worth pursuing. To truly rise above the noise, you must first understand the art of discernment. You have a finite amount of energy, time, and care to give. Wasting it on things that don't align with your core values is the greatest tragedy. Look around. The masses give too much power to everything. They care about what strangers think. They care about being seen, about following trends, about blending into a world that barely notices them. But what if you stopped? What if you stripped away the clutter and focused only on what truly mattered to you? What if, instead of being pulled in every direction, you chose your own? That's where true power lies, not in caring about everything, but in choosing what's worth caring about. Standing out requires brutal honesty. You must confront the things you've been conditioned to care about and ask yourself, do they serve me? Do they align with my purpose, my truth? Or are they chains disguised as virtues, tying me to a life of mediocrity? You must learn to let go. Let go of the need to be liked. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to control things beyond your power. The masses are consumed by these needs, and it's why they remain stagnant. They waste their energy trying to be everything for everyone, and in doing so, they become nothing for themselves. But you are different. You are learning the rare and powerful skill of indifference. Not indifference in the sense of apathy, but in the sense of clarity. Indifference to the trivial, to the meaningless, to the noise. It's the ability to stand in the storm of opinions and distractions and remain unshaken because you've chosen what matters.